What if the most feared dictator of the 20th century failed inside his own home? Joseph Stalin ruled the Soviet Union through terror, executions, and absolute power from the Kremlin in Moscow. Millions obeyed him without question. Entire cities feared his name. But behind the walls of Soviet power, Stalin's own family was quietly falling apart. His children grew up surrounded not by love, but fear, silence, and emotional neglect. One son died in a Nazi prison camp, another drank himself into destruction, and his only daughter eventually fled the Soviet Union forever. For Stalin's children, being born into power became a curse that followed them their entire lives. His eldest son, Yakov Jugashvili, barely knew his father as a child. After Yakov's mother died from typhus in 1907, Stalin abandoned him to relatives while he focused on the Bolshevik Revolution. When Yakov was finally brought to Moscow years later, the relationship between father and son quickly became cold and humiliating. According to several accounts, Stalin openly mocked him and treated him as weak. Then came World War II. In July 1941, Yakov was captured by German forces during the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union. After the Battle of Stalingrad, Germany reportedly offered Yakov for exchange for captured Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus, but Stalin refused, allegedly saying, "I will not trade a marshal for a lieutenant." In April 1943, Yakov died inside Sachsenhausen concentration camp after running into an electrified fence. Even Stalin's own son could not escape the cruelty of war, or his father. Stalin's younger son, Vasily Stalin, grew up in luxury but slowly destroyed himself. After his mother, Nadezhda Alilieva, died by suicide in 1932, Vasily became violent, reckless, and addicted to alcohol while still young. During World War II, he joined the Soviet Air Force and rapidly rose through the military ranks. Many believed officers promoted him simply because they feared Stalin. Behind the medals and uniforms, however, Vasily was deeply unstable. When Stalin died in 1953, his protection disappeared overnight. The Soviet government arrested him for anti-Soviet behavior and sent him to prison. Years of alcoholism completely ruined his health and reputation. In 1962, Vasily died in disgrace at only 40 years old. The son of the Soviet dictator ended his life broken, isolated, and forgotten. Then there was Svetlana Alilieva, Stalin's only daughter and once his favorite child, but even she could not endure the darkness surrounding the Stalin family forever. After her father's death in 1953, Svetlana rejected everything connected to him. Then, during a visit to India in 1967, Svetlana defected to the United States and publicly condemned her father's legacy before the world. It was a devastating humiliation for the Soviet Union during the Cold War. Far from Moscow, Svetlana spent the rest of her life carrying the burden of the Stalin name. When Svetlana died in 2011, the final chapter of Stalin's family came to an end. The man who ruled an empire with fear could never save his own children.